My mortgage on my starter home is $4,845 every single month here in Columbus, Ohio.
I don't know what world she's living in, but just from her mortgage price alone, I can already tell that it's not a starter home.
It's not a starter home. It is not a starter home. I'm so sorry. I'm just... Okay.
And then she does a tour of the house. Babe, it's like the McAllister's house from Home Alone. I'm like, you pay $5,000 a month for that? That's all you pay?
PSA to those who are looking to purchase a home. A starter home is not $4,000 a month. Now, Titiana ain't here to pick your pocket, so you do with your money as you please.
A lady is going viral on TikTok for sharing how much her mortgage is monthly in her starter home, and people instantly started dragging her, saying that is not a starter home, because she also went ahead and gave like a house tour. She showed her home in a second video, and people started saying, oh, that is not a starter home. That is, so people just started dragging her for her simply just coming online to share how much she paid, how much her mortgage is a month for her starter.
My mortgage on my starter home is $4,845 every single month here in Columbus, Ohio. And one of the things that I think is so frustrating for me is when I talk to people who bought homes in 2015, 2014, or people who are older than me. I'm 28, or people who are in their late 30s, early 40s. And it's just you guys really don't understand how unaffordable housing has become. My house years before I bought it was a $300,000 house, and it still is a $300,000 house because there were no updates made to the home whatsoever. It had all of the original things in it, and it was so outdated. And it's just one of the things that I feel is really frustrating for me to look around and see. I have an income where my base salary is well over $300,000 annually, and still having a $5,000 mortgage every single month is insane. It is so much freaking money. I don't know how people my age, I don't know how this generation is going to be able to save, because childcare and food and gas and everything and electricity, everything is so expensive right now. So how are you even supposed to save to get the down payment? But even if you get the down payment, how, who can afford these mortgage prices? I understand that I am in a unique position, but that's not the norm. How are normal American families able to afford housing? How something has to change. And it's one of the things that I think about constantly, and it really stresses me out. It stresses me out for my friends, it stresses me out for my children. It's just so sad, because being able to afford a home and be a homeowner and start a family and do all of that and have your own space is so important. It's a part of the American dream, and it's quickly becoming a thing of the past. Everyone is going to be stuck renting if things don't fix.
She lives in an over $500,000 home in a rich suburb of central Ohio. And she's calling that a starter home. Words have meanings, and people just be on the internet just saying things. My
mortgage on my starter home is $4,845 every single month here in Columbus, Ohio.
I don't know what world she's living in, but just from her mortgage price alone, I can already tell that it's not a starter home. And starter home is a very specific term. It is not something that you just call your first house. And come to find out, she has a live-in nanny room. Though it might be one of her family members, she also pays said family member for her work. This starter home that she's talking about has to be no less than 4,000 square feet. Her kids got a living area that she calls their playroom. The crazy part is she had a great message, but calling her house a starter home is what messed the whole thing up. A starter home is probably way less than $300,000. It's a home that you're able to afford a little bit more so that you can save up money for your future home. A townhouse is a great example of a starter home. A single family house with 1 or 2 beds and baths is another great example of a starter home. But a 2-story house with 5 to 6 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, a dining room, and a finished basement, did I read in the comments, is not a starter home. I think she meant that she's living in a house that she didn't plan on living in forever, but calling her home a starter home is furthest from the truth.
It's not a starter home. It is not a starter home. I'm so sorry. I'm just... Okay. I didn't even stitch the video because I don't want to give that lady more attention by connecting my video to her video. If you watch real estate stuff, you've seen the video of the young lady complaining about her mortgage. I think it's $5,000 thereabouts for a starter home. I think she said a simple starter home. This is just a starter home. It's just a starter home. I swear it has to be either a parody or what do they call it? Rage bait? Because she then proceeds to give a tour, and she was smart to do that in a separate video so that the first one would get a lot of sympathy and a lot of views. She gives a tour, and the thing is a McMansion. It's like 4 bedrooms, brand new everything, brand new this, remodeled that, fresh this, huge rooms. Her laundry room was the size of like my first bedroom. My first starter home was 850 square feet, 1 floor, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom, didn't even qualify as a bedroom. You had to go through bedroom 1 to get to bedroom 2. The whole thing was 800 square feet. I paid $1,100 a month, and I struggled to pay that, but I paid it. That's a starter home. When you buy that grandma shag carpeting, dated wood panels, panel boards, and you pay, $200,000 for it when the neighborhood is selling at $4 because that's the oldest and maybe the ugliest house on the block. That's a starter home. When you buy the mobile home and that's a starter home. But unless you're living in like Hollywood or LA where everything is $5 million and a starter home, maybe is $1 million. Even then, that's not a starter home for any amount of American. I gotta go. I'm sorry. It's not a starter home. Go see the video.
Girl comes on here and she's talking about her $5,000 mortgage on her starter home. And I'm like, damn. Like, I know it's rough, but damn. And she was like, you guys in like your 30s and 40s just like don't understand. Like, you guys that bought your homes like, 10, 15 years ago just don't understand. I was like, damn, maybe I don't. And then she does a tour of the house. Babe, it's like the McAllister's house from Home Alone. I'm like, you pay $5,000 a month for that? That's all you pay? That's a fucking mansion, bitch. You don't even got popcorn ceilings or nothing. That house where I live in Central Oregon would sell for millions, multi-millions of dollars. Moral of the story is these kids don't know what a starter home is. Bitch, this is a starter home. Welcome. I got the popcorn ceilings. I got a little tiny living room. My couch is completely torn apart right now. I'm cleaning couch cushions and ottoman covers. This is the hallway down into the bedroom and bathroom corridor. This is a starter home, bitch. Just so
On my starter home is $4,845 every.
Your starter home is $5,000 a month for a mortgage. She says she's 28 years old. She makes a salary of just about $300,000 and she's struggling. I'm wondering how people can keep affording this stuff. And $5,000 is a lot of money. Hell yeah, that's a lot of money. I've been working my tail off for years and years and years, and my mortgage is like maybe a third of that. What? That is definitely a choice to purchase a home that expensive as a starter home. You could have gotten a condo, you could have gotten a townhome, you could have gotten a smaller home, built up your equity, and over time built it up to have a house that is a little bit bigger, a little bit higher of a mortgage. You cannot complain because that was your choice to do that. And it's poor money management if you're struggling. Like, I know we're all struggling out here on the streets here, but choosing to purchase that right off the bat at 28 years old, I could just think of a lot more other things that I'd love to do with my money if I had $5,000 to just blow on a mortgage every month. But that was your choice, and I don't know if they put a for sale sign or keep paying it. I mean, you gotta pay. You can't just walk away from it.
Update. I saw the home. She did a tour. She has a live-in nanny. She has no clue what a starter home is, but it's beautiful and great job.
PSA to those who are looking to purchase a home. A starter home is not $4,000 a month. Now, Titiana ain't here to pick your pocket, so you do with your money as you please. But as a homeowner, I figured I'd jump in this conversation. A starter home is a home that you can afford even if you lost everything. I'm going to say that one more time. A starter home is a home that you could afford even if you lost everything. That means if you lose that good old job that you got, you could do a couple of Uber Eats, a couple of Instacarts, sell your dirty drawers, sell your dirty socks. You can still do what you got to do and make sure that mortgage is paid. Not only that, but let's say you're a responsible adult and you got plenty of money in savings where you could just live a couple of months or even more than a year off of your savings. It's a starter home. It ain't supposed to break the bank.
My starter home is $2,000. To somebody else, that's a lot of money. right? Because to other people, their starter homes, their mortgage was $1,200. If someone else's starter home is I don't know, $4,000 or $6,000, that's their starter home, right? We all are gonna start at different points. I can understand what you're saying. Your starter home, my starter home, their starter home, we start homes. It's all gonna be different. Come on now.
You know, that is her starter home. To her, that is her starter home. That is her first home. You know, I didn't think she came online to brag about her home. You are taking it as that is not her a starter home. That is a big house. That is not a starter home. But if you think about it, years ago, a starter home is just a basic house where a first-time buyer can afford. But now, with interest rate and home prices, everything is so expensive that buying your first home as your starter home is your forever home, and it's still going to be expensive than it used to be. And people don't seem to understand that the home that she owns, if it was to be 10 years ago, you know, it would have been more cheaper than it is. You know, even though you would say it's a bigger home, it's not a starter home, but she thinks that is a starter home. She feels like that is her starter home. I'm pretty sure she probably have a dream to get like a bigger house one day, but after getting this house and she's seeing how much she's paying for the house, you know, she's probably shocked, like, this is my starter home. And that is, the mortgage is very, 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 very expensive. You know what I mean? So I think we should just let people be, you know, but reality is a starter home definition has changed. You know, for some people, it's a fixer upper. You just buy like a rundown home, you just fix it up and you call it your starter home. And for others, it's just, you know, what they can afford, you know, at the time. So I just kind of feel like she's calling it her starter home because it's her first home. I don't think she plans to live in that home forever. But I don't know. I guess because of how much she says she makes, and her sister being her nanny, and she have a room for her sister. I just think if she says that is her starter home, that's her starter home. I don't think we should drag her for it. But anyways, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.